Good morning, watch fans. It's September 20th, Sunday morning on the West Coast, and we're going to talk about industry watch news. Some really big stuff happened this last week, and I'm going to try and go over all of it and not miss a thing. First up, we have a really big deal with the Seiko line. Seiko 5 Street Fighter. Great pictures here, amazing red dial. They also have a bunch of crazy 6 other colors for the 6 major Street Fighters. Very interesting. Not a bad price. Recommended retail price is right at $440. Expect the street price to be probably in the $350s. They're only making 60,000 total, 10,000 of each color. I think the red's going to be the big hit, maybe even the yellow. If you guys know the names, go ahead and chime in the comment section, figure out what the names are. But it looks very interesting, and I would like to play with one. I know a lot about Seiko 5s. They really aren't a dive watch, but they're a great entry-level watch for anyone who's just getting into watches. This week is Heuer has introduced a line of 42mm Carrera chronographs. 28,800 beats per hour. Very reasonable. Recommended retail price of $53.50. Expect 20% off of that. More than likely, after the first 60 days of sales, you would expect them to really knock them down. Heuer rarely sells for recommended retail. Good looking watches. Nice selection. I'm a little excited for that one. Good looking watches. I know a lot of people have Heuers, and while it gets a lot of grief from the watch community, the people who own them seem to really like them. So, can't complain. The boutique brand's Micro Lux Show is going online this year. It's going to be at lamicrolux.com. I'll put the link in the description. And essentially, it's micro and boutique brands are going to showcase their brand new stuff for the year. If you look at the selection of people who are sponsoring and going to be there, only micro brand I'm interested in is going to be there is Formex. I think that really interesting case with the spring in the case that basically allows your wrist to flex, and they have a pure carbon fiber case now that looks really interesting. It's making the rounds right now on some of the websites, and I would love to get my hands on one. So that's going to be October 17th through the 18th, online only. Even the masses like us are allowed to attend. So I've already registered. I'm going to try and attend it. I'm curious how a Zoom call with 10,000 people is going to work, but you never know. It might be good. Christopher Ward, a huge fan of Christopher Ward. I've played with quite a few of them. I know a lot of guys that have them. They're just a really good brand. And my one gripe was that logo at the 9 o'clock. It drove me crazy. Well, the brand new Super Compressor's out, and they moved the logo to the center, like the picture shows. It's amazing. It's cool. I want. Reasonable prices at $1,100 starting price about. Recommended retail is going to be $1,025 and to $1,145 on steel for the bracelet. It is in $10 to get you exact size. If you just want to get the bracelet, no unsized, they'll send you one. But I have an 8.5 inch wrist, so I'll pay the $10 to guarantee to get one that fits me. It is a true super compressor. That is, the deeper it goes, the harder the crystal pushes against the seal, and it allows it to literally compress, making it more waterproof the deeper it goes, the harder the pressure is. Most super compressors are just a double crown, and you can move the inner bezel, and it's kind of cool. Looks really nice. I see a bunch of those out there. This is going to be a legitimate super compressor. 41 millimeters across, 13 millimeters deep, and 47 lug to lug with a 22 millimeter band. Got everything right. Ocean blue and black sand. Black sand, you can see the picture. It looks a lot like brown, but it's very cool anyways. Weird name. Looks like the leather will be with a quick release. It's going to have a slate of movement, 41 hours of, or 38 hours of power reserve, 4 hertz, 28,800 beats per hour. Very nice. Display case back, custom rotor, 150 meters water resistance. I think that price for $1,000, $1,100, I think is right on the money. You know, if I was in the mood for a super compressor, this would probably be the one I'd go for. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's pretty nice. So, the big news of the week was technically watch related. The very biggest news of the week is Apple. They came out with the Series 6. It has a lot going for it. Has a type 2 diabetic and a person with, a family history of all kinds of problems. I'm interested in the health portion of the Apple Watch. It does a lot. A lot of doctors recommend it for their patients. It still doesn't monitor glucose levels, and I know it's possible to do it because a friend of mine has an experimental patch on his arm, and he can monitor his glucose readings with an app. Basically, it's a thing on his arm, and he can scan it, and it gives him a glucose rating. Pretty cool. Not in the Apple Watch yet, but they're doing this new one has a new sensor for doing blood oxygen level. It already does the heart monitoring and can alert you when you have a heart problem and you're not sleeping properly. It can tell you that, and it's got the same 2-day battery life, and it's got a quick charge for 90 minutes, and it's got a very interesting new band system. It's called a loop band. It's basically you order the loop based on your measurement of your wrist. They have a thing you download and print out. It's kind of silly. It's basically you download a paper measuring tape and you measure your wrist and you order by that. And it only goes up to it looks like it goes up to an 8. But my daughter talks about wanting an Apple Watch, and I thought about getting her one to review for the site and getting myself the extra band that's really big. So I could at least wear it and try it out and see if it does anything for me. It's not really a watch. It is a handheld computer. It's simply a wearable computer. They give it a skin of a watch. I get it. Make it do all kinds of things for all people. It has cell phone service. It has the GPS, fully maxed out with every bell and whistle. It's about $1,000. Same as a top end cell phone. The basic Series 6 is going to be $400. But the interesting thing was they introduced 2 watches. One's a base model with a bunch of cool features that is only $275. So that's an interesting entry. It's Apple Watch SE, excuse me. It looks the same, uses the same bands, has the same skins and all the cool stuff. Doesn't have the additional sensors for reading all the cool things, but it will get you into an Apple Watch and let you do all the other health things and exercise things and appointments and reminders, and you can answer your emails through this. It's not at $275. There's no cell connection, but you bump up the SC to a cell phone connection for like $300, $325 I think is what it is. Then you'll be able to leave your phone at home and just use your watch with the cell phone. Kind of cool. This Apple Watch is really punching for the under 30 crowd. Really is the 35 and under crowd. These are the guys that buy this phone. If you go into an office setting today with a bunch of millennials and 35-year-olds and under, you're going to see 90% of the people wearing an Apple Watch. It's just the way it is. I probably would never own one for personal use. I'd own it for review only and give it to my kid or sell it. But it is an interesting piece of technology that if it ever came up to be able to monitor diabetes and blood sugar, I would probably be the first in line to buy one. If you're a diabetic, how blood sugar can affect you throughout the day. It really messes you up. I've got my sleep under control. I've got a lot of other things in my health are under control. But, getting my blood sugar perfect would be awesome. Be able to monitor it minute by minute would be fantastic. But so that's the updates for the week of September 20th. This has been a beautiful Sunday morning. I hope everybody's enjoyed my update, and I want you to have a great week.